Straits. Okay, then we'll have to, instead of the Lake Melville area, we'll have to take the Straits to start off with. So we'll ask Shirley to come up with the report from the group from the Straits.
Well, we went over the discussion draft paper that the LCPA group have done up, and in general we agreed with it. So we decided that we would look at actual projects that was possibilities in our own area, and to add on to it things that we felt should be concerns in the Straits area. So we came up with several projects that we'd like to see done in the Straits. I'll run through it, and then we can continue on with the other parts. Project number 1, we would like to see the curing of sealskins as it was traditionally done in the Straits. To do this, we feel that there's a need for seed money to purchase the sealskins during the spring and fall when they're available, and we need the seed money to be able to purchase the sealskins, and so that we can cure them over the season. And of course, to do that, we'd need wages to be paid to a person or persons if the project became big enough to actually cure those sealskins. The whole process would take the better part of a year to do the whole process, because it takes such a long time to tan the skins. The objective of the project, of course, would be for us to be able to supply our local area with raw materials and sealskin to work with for skin boots and mitts and what have you that we would like to produce in the Straits, and to sell to outside markets once the needs of the area is met. So our first objective would be to develop enough sealskins for the area itself, and then to sell to outside markets as a second priority. So that was our project number 1 that we'd like to see done. We could see it possibly done through our crafts councils. Project number 2 we would like to see is, we call it a wool project, and the purpose of the project would be to do experimental sheep farming in the Straits area, and we would like to see that developed under the Southern Labrador Development Association.
Straits area,
This association deals with rural development in our area. This would develop into sheep raising, spinning, dyeing of wools with natural dyes. The Straits has been identified as a prime area for sheep raising, mainly because of the large amount of grasslands that we have in the area, and because we are limited to forest industries. There's very little in the ways of forest industry, but we do have a lot of grasslands that, with some cultivation, mainly through fertilizing the soil, we could have very good pasture lands. Our project number 3 would be a birch project, and out of that birch project we saw the following things being made: birch brooms, birch baskets, birch dolls, and birch hats. All of those different things have already been done in the Straits area before. Now they're not being produced at the moment as craft items. In the case of the birch broom, we know that it's a very popular item right across Canada for their fireplaces. And the type of birch broom that's made in the Straits is the kind that is very popular. The birch baskets and birch hats there's a very limited number of people who know how to do it. We would have to have workshops and need to teach people to do those crafts. again, we think that it could be a good seller. And the dolls, again, something not done right now, but possibilities of developing. And the reason we think this should be done in the Straits is because birch is very plentiful. It's a small tree, it grows small, but it's very easy to work with. It's easy to dye, and it can be dyed any color that you desire if you want to go into coloring your baskets or brightening up your products. We feel that this would develop a skill that could possibly we would be losing in the Straits. But by doing this project, it would become an important industry in the Straits area. That sort of ended off our projects that we could think of at the moment that probably could be developed in the Straits. And then we started to look at our craft center. Our craft center itself, which is on, as I mentioned a while back, is under construction right now. However, we feel that there should be a continuing funding for the operation of the craft center. Until the center generates enough profits to be self-sufficient. We do feel that craft centers can be self-sufficient. But we do believe that it will take several years to do that, several years before we have sufficient funds to make it a viable industry. And therefore, we feel that money should be available for that purpose. And then we might have to consider the upgrading or the possible expansion of the craft center that's there. So we would like to have that kept open if the possibilities, if that was possible. Certainly, if we needed
stretch area.
We think that there should be continuing research on crafts development in the Straits area. And we feel that more craft-related workshops should be held in the Straits area. Such as mentioned in the discussion paper that LCPA has given us. We agree with the exchange communication with other parts of Labrador, has exchange groups, seminars, videotape photography. We agree with the marketing for the outside marketing, such as promotional brochures. This could and should be done through the Department of Tourism. We believe that tourism is one of the best possible places to advertise and to get markets for our crafts products. We agree with all other marketing aspects of LCPA's discussion paper. On the education development, we agree with the approach that LCPA has taken on that concept of developing skills, our traditional skills in schools. We feel that it should be integrated in the present school system. We think that it is something that would have to have early negotiations with school boards to make sure that they in fact accept that in the school system before monies become available and we find that we can't do it within the school system. And as a footnote, we like to, I have added here, in view of the fact that we will not receive funding for all of those projects and ideas, should we not think of prioritizing our crafts, both from a regional point of view and from probably from your discussion paper, Val, in terms of the whole thing. So that's just a question that's added to the end. And that's from the Straits.
Thank you, Shirley. Is there any question?